You here? Yeah, yeah. It's Thursday. It's Ancestor Speak. Let's get straight to it. I'm right back at you like I never left. I'm going to go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoom, Consul, Moon. You already know what you're going to get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Canoom. Yeah, yeah, I'm here. While I'm here, I'm going to make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear. Yeah, yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of Ancestor Speak. And as the title state today, we have a gem for you. Cheikh Anta Diop on Ancestor Speak. Cheikh was born in Senegal, okay? At the age of 23, he went to Paris, France, and he did a whole lot of studying there and things like that. And then he came back to Dakar, and he was a master and studied at the Dakar Institute College and things of that nature. So this man had many titles, wore many hats. He was a physicist, he was a scientist, he was an anthropologist, an archaeologist, a linguist. This man did a whole lot of things. So that's what we have in store for you today. Let's look at the ancestors on the video that I put together, and we'll get straight into this. Okay.
One thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception.
All right. That was the great master teacher. Cheikh is a master teacher as well, but that was the great master teacher. And Cheikh Anta Diop is also pictured in that video. I created that video, of course. I took that short snippet from one of Dr. Clark's many lectures, but this was before he died. He began going blind, and he died in 1998. I took that clip and I just added photographic depictions of all the master teachers who touched me, you know, and I always pay homage to them. It's not no type of thing of worship and praise. This is for fools who think that when you give honor to somebody, you're praising or worshiping them, because the dead white man on the cross in Matthew, I believe, or Luke said, if you love your mother or father before you love me, you not from me. If you love your daughter and son before me, you're not of me. Anybody who don't take up their cross and follow me, they're not of me. They don't deserve my love. This is a dead white man on the cross named Yeshua Christos. Okay, this is a Greco-Roman understanding for the Greek and Roman people. Today he turned into a Jew, if you will. Okay, but before then, this was for Greek and Roman people. You hear me? So the dead white man on the cross tell you, if you honor anybody before you honor this dead white man named Jesus the Christ, then you're dead and wrong. So I'm not into European religion or European thought patterns and mind frame anymore. See, I'm not of that type of world anymore. So that doesn't apply to me. I'm going to always honor my African ancestors and my African heroes. See, when the European want a hero, he make one up. We don't have to do that. You hear me? So I would pray, and I don't pray because praying is a form of begging. It's a waste of time. The same dead white man that you pray to, get on your knees, foam at the mouth. Oh, please, Lord, help me with this bill. Oh, please pray over this sandwich, Lord. You say all that, and then at the end you say amen. Okay, that's an African deity. That's where one of my names come from. Kanoom, Kansu, Amun. Amun is the African deity. Okay. Never existed. Nobody to be worshiping and all this type of stuff. These are symbolic understandings so that a person can have, you know, something to you know, mimic himself after, if you will. He can always have an outstanding example. You hear me? So a lot of this Osiris and Osiris, Horus, everyone understand these are not real people. These are symbolic images and no one prays towards them. These are just symbols so you can understand how to pattern and carry yourself as a human being. That's it. Okay. Do they deserve homage? Of course. Do some people pray to them? I'm sure. But that's not what I do. Okay. I don't have to pray towards Osiris and none of these people. Let's look at Cheikh Anta Diop. Like I say, he wore all those hats. This is from a show called, what is it called? For the People by Lester Velt Middleton. Great poet, African man as well, from South Carolina. He died at a very young age. He died at 44. That's the same age I am today, sitting before you. He wrote 3 poems, great poems. Fatback and Caviar, We's Be Creole People, and Southern Winds, African Breeze. He wrote those 3 poems and he did this show. So he's been inducted into the Hall of Fame in South Carolina, African Hall of Fame. So this was a powerful brother as well. So we're going to look at 2 ancestors today. And again, we're going to pay them honor. I'm going to pay them homage. And I'm going to pay them my respects. May their soul rest, but may their spirits continue to be lifted up to the ancestors. See, we don't have to have no pie in the sky and hope that Jesus let us in. We have it right here on earth. And then when we go to the ancestors, we reunite with the people who we lost and transitioned already before us. Let's continue to do this stuff. Let's look at this African people.
We are very glad to have you with us for this very special program. This program is special because with this evening's guest, we reach a plateau in our quest to find out who we have been and who we are. Our guest is one of the leading anthropologists and Egyptologists in the world, Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop. Dr. Diop was born in Senegal, and at age 23, he went to Paris, France to continue advanced studies in physics. In 1966, the first World Black Festival of Arts and Culture, held in Dakar, Senegal, honored Dr. Diop and Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois as the scholars who exerted the greatest influence on black thought in the 20th century.
So in 1966, he was honored, him and W.E.B. Du Bois, for the African scholars who had the most thought-provoking, the most intellectual thought-provoking Africans of that time. 1966. So this is not just no ring-of-the-mill type of man that we're talking about and discussing here. Everything you're going to hear here is also echoed around the scholarly community. You had a Leakey family, the Leakey family, Louis Leakey and Richard Leakey and his sons, his son-in-law, his daughter, his wife, all these, the whole Leakey family. They're into anthropology, okay, and archaeology as well. In 1979, Dr. Leakey, he moved from America into Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, and he stayed there until his death. You hear me? This man said the same thing for years. Life begins in Africa, right around Kenya, Nairobi, Tanzania, the southern regions. So people see what's behind Lester Velt Middleton right there before you on the screen, the Sphinx and the pyramids and the stuff that I adore on my neck. And I have a pyramid here. They see this stuff and get intimidated. They don't have anything like this to show the world. So they say, hey, that's not you. These are African people. We want to hear that today. Nobody's sitting here wishing up on the star. Oh, that's us. We have the proof. The proof has been done since the 60s and the 70s. Okay. It was only in the 1850s when the European archaeologists, because they got a hold of this stuff first. It was a racism thing there and a classism thing where you couldn't even be Egyptologist in those times. So it was a lot of British men, Russian, and things like that, Englishmen who did this work. And they were called Orientalists. You hear me? So they tried to turn this into European because nothing as great as these that you see right behind you. has ever been seen. But see, it's okay for when the Europeans speak about European history that he go back to the Greeks, Pythagoras, Socrates, Plato, and all this nonsense who never existed. And they don't have anything like this to show the world. They just talk about philosophy. When we bring that up, we're supposed to be, oh, that's not you. These are African people. You hear me? I'm an African man sitting before you who's been displaced and was born in America. That's all that is. African will never leave my name. I'm an African. Simple as that. Let's continue. People get intimidated by this stuff. This is the greatest that's ever been done. In 1978, people said that the Japanese and the Chinese were the smartest on the planet. They attempted to build what you see behind you, and they failed in 1978. They tried to do it with helicopters, cranes, and all this type, and they failed, and they went back home. You hear me? Let's continue.
Dr. Diop, who is also a linguist, is director of the Radiocarbon Laboratory at the Fundamental Institute of Black Africa at the University of Dakar in Senegal. In this first segment, Dr. Diop discusses the evolution of mankind.
Aujourd'hui, la science sait de façon sûre que l'humanité a pris naissance en Afrique, sous la latitude du Kenya, dans cette région qui est à cheval sur le Kenya, l'Éthiopie et la Tanzanie.
We are able to say scientifically today, to say with certainty that mankind was born in Africa on the latitude more or less of Kenya, and that area which...
Please, African people, who's ever going to watch this show for yourself in its entirety. Lester Middleton, For the People, Cheikh Anta Diop. He's going to show you graphs. He's going to show you this is geographic locations. He's going to show you skull fragments. Everything this man said is not up for dispute. This is not pseudoscience. This is not black man. This man went into Paris and married a wife there. His black man might not be like you thinking. This man is not a racist. If he was, he has some type of special racism that he can go home and still kiss his Paris wife. Okay, so I don't think this man is no racist man, but the truth has to be told. Scientific study is scientific study. Okay, what you have in terms of anthropology, the study of human life, and archaeology is the study of what's been left behind, rocks and things of that nature. The specimens are there for themselves. No one has been able to go over this work and bring it in any other fashion than what he's going to convey right now. So let's continue.
Which comprises Kenya,
Éthiopie,
Ethiopia, and Tanzania.
Et qui va même jusqu'en Afrique du Sud, suivant un axe nord-sud.
And going on a north-south axis all the way south to South Africa.
Or, une humanité qui est née sous une telle latitude au niveau de l'équateur n'aurait pas pu survivre si elle n'était pas pigmentée noire dès son apparition.
So it's clear that any humanity that had its birth in that region could not have survived in an equatorial region without pigmentation.
La nature ne crée rien.
What he's saying there is he's speaking a lot of scientific stuff. Pigmentation, of course, I know you guys know what that is. That's the melanin amount in your skin. He's saying no one or no people that started could have been born in that equatorial region, subequatorial region, without being black. He's talking about skin color. So if you have black people with black skin, then you understand these are Africans. This is South Africa. This is Ethiopia. This is Kenya. This is Tanzania. You hear me? That's basically what he's saying. So the people who were born there, and this is nature. When he talks, he doesn't mention God. He never mentions God once because God God, the name God wasn't invented when this was going on. God hasn't appeared on the scene yet when this happened. He mentions nature a lot. God doesn't come into science. No term called God comes with science, unless you're talking about some type of religious scientist. Let's continue.
Au hasard, et elle a protégé l'humanité qui est née sous l'équateur en Afrique par un écran de mélanine. C'est ce qui fait que les premiers hommes étaient nécessairement noirs tant qu'ils n'étaient pas encore sortis de l'Afrique.
Nature doesn't do anything by chance, and it's for that reason that humanity, mankind that was born in a sub-equatorial region, was given melanin to protect its skin. And it's for that reason that it is clear, it is certain that first man had to be a black man.
It's clear that the first man had to be a black man, because when you're born in these equatorial regions, sub-equatorial regions, it's so hot there. You have to have melanated skin, which is black as this shirt, to be able to be produced in that type of region of the world or geographical location. You have to. Let's continue. This is science. This is not racial. It's not pseudoscience. I just told you, you can go to the whole Leakey institution, the whole family. They're Europeans, and they say and echo the same thing. Do you hear me? Let's continue, African people.
C'est seulement quand cette humanité va sortir de l'Afrique pour aller peupler le reste de la Terre qu'elle va changer d'aspect suivant les régions géographiques et que les autres races vont apparaître.
It is only after that race left Africa to people other parts of the world that had different climatic phenomena that man changed and became and took on different aspects, had a different look.
C'est le premier.
Now, this is beyond my scope of intelligence. Can I get into this and try to learn it, attempt to learn it? Yes. Do I? No. Because to me, that part is a theory. And if he's saying it's scientific, then it's not a theory. But from my understanding, the European has always said he was nothing, had nothing to do with us. Of course, he was quite racial in his theories, and he was ignorant at the time. Well, he didn't want to tell the truth and things like that. So he said that the African race was subhuman, below him, you know. This disproves all that. But for me, I don't believe that the European and the African is the same makeup. I believe they're total opposite in people. I don't believe that you can go into Europe and in 100,000 years, your nose, you'll turn into a European. That's my belief, but I'm not educated enough to say that, but that's just my belief. So the story goes, Africans left Africa and went to other places, and over so many 100,000 years, you see the white man, you see the Chinese man, you see the Indian. Again, I'm not educated enough to speak like that, but this is what he's saying, and has all the degrees to back it up. So this is the far most intelligent man to speak on this, and others have as well. So now the European has to say, we're all family. They been had a little lady on there named, forgot the lady's name, but she's always been something Lynn. I forgot her name, but she wears the little glasses and she talks. She has very short hair. She's always said that it's only one human race. So again, I don't, that's not my belief.
Les hommes comprenaient en réalité 6 spécimens. L'humanité, la nature a créé 6 spécimens d'hommes avant d'arriver à l'homme que nous sommes aujourd'hui.
Nature created 6 specimens of man before we got to man as we know him today.
Les 3 premiers spécimens, je n'ai pas besoin de les nommer, n'ont pas atteint, dans l'état actuel de la recherche scientifique, un potentiel d'expansion leur permettant de sortir de l'Afrique. Donc, ils n'ont jamais été hors d'Afrique. dans l'état actuel des recherches.
According to the scientific information that we have now, it appears that the first three of these species, which is not necessary to name, never acquired the potential or never arrived at the potential for exporting or leaving their own area.
Non, n'ont jamais atteint un potentiel d'expansion pour sortir de l'Afrique.
They never had the potential to expand and to leave Africa.
Yes. Les trois autres sont sortis de l'Afrique.
Three others did leave Africa.
Le quatrième et le cinquième ont disparu.
The fourth and the fifth of these species disappeared.
Il ne reste que le sixième qui est l'homme que nous sommes.
And what remains is man as we know him, that sixth species.
Le cinquième.
Okay, that was Cheikh Anta Diop. Again, I'm grateful for his research. I'm grateful for everything he left, all the material, all the books. And I just pay homage and honor to the ancestors. This man was of renown, okay? He got into a plane crash, and I believe he healed up from all that type of stuff, and then he ended up dying later on, I believe, from complications of trying to get back to normal from the plane crash. He died in 1986. Man was 62 years old. Okay, so there's a lot that can be said, but again, this is Ancestor Speak, part 19. That was Cheikh Anta Diop, and the man who show he was on was Lester Velt Middleton, another pioneer, strong African man, like I say, a poet, and that was Ancestor Speak 19. May they both rest, may their soul rest, may their spirit continue to be lifted up to the ancestors. That's my thoughts on these videos. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consort Moon. You already know what you're going to get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. Yeah, I'm here. And while I'm here, I'm going to make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I thank you for watching. If you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe because it won't cost you a fee. This information, I hope, ignites you into trying to go find the things that was already here before the European interjected his nonsense, speaking about religion. African people had spiritual systems set before the term God was ever existed. Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahshua, all this. These are brand new terms and names. The languages weren't even the same. You hear me? And they never knew a European existed. So what happened was around the 4th century BC, 332, that was the 4th century, a European named Alexander came into the scene. He wanted to be worshipped. No gods. The European had no gods before this. And that started what you have before you today with a lot of these dark-skinned Europeans, because you might look African, but your heart is white as snow, okay? The European entered in and said, worship me. And that's where we at today, because after that began with Serapis. And from Serapis, here come a explosion of European deities or gods, whatever you want to call them. And today you have three in the three major Western religions, all European, because the Europeans started this. You have Allah, white man. This is headed by the European Arabs. You have Yahuwah, Yahshua, Jesus the Christ, Messiah, Yashia HaMashiach, all this, Jehovah, and all this, Elohim, white men. Every name I named is white man. Okay. And then you have your Jesus the Christ. Simple as that. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. White men, all white men. Okay, so that's Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. All faces of white men. And the Messiah don't even have a identification. It's no Messiah. It's invisible. But yet and still, Ashkenazi, Hasidic, and all these type of Jews has taken and co-opted and stolen that, and you have to be a white man to be a Jew. See, the European put this together. So when you suck down at the white man's, suck all his air and screaming and putting all your spirituality into these white men, do research before you could utter the terms that was given to you, okay? Find out what you had before that. Because everything has a date. What predated what you're screaming now? Yahweh, Yahshua, Jesus the Christ, Messiah, Kaddish, all this nonsense. They didn't have any of these terms. The European didn't have any of these terms, okay? Because there was no Europeans around. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliate. So before you pick up any of those silly religions that I was just speaking about, pick up some knowledge. If anybody's offended by anything you heard, I meant every word. Yeah, yeah.